What's up, guys? Back with another video, and in this video, I'll be talking about my first time subbing a 5 minute mile, right? And a lot of you people, who are news channel, or for people doing track and field, or for my subscriber, or some random people who just watch video, I have to go and explain to a lot of detail what does it mean to sub a 5 minute mile, right? And what happened if you sub it your first time, like when you do it on the exact day, time, when, and how long it took you, just to sub, a 5 minute mile, right? Or how long have you been running? And not only I'm gonna talk about like how fast I run today, but I'll compare to like my first mile time. I'll go over through like history of like what what I have been through. It's been a really tough time. Like I've been having like so much hard time. Like I really want to like get to this milestone, and it's just a lot to explain this video, and this might technically bring out to like half an hour and stuff. And there's just a lots of things that I noticed after I just ended my run as of April 11, 2020. So as you guys watch this video, you might be watching it some other day, but this video is probably get uploaded on the 12th, I believe, or maybe late like tonight, but it's recorded on April 11, 2020. So yeah, and I got GoPro going and all that stuff. And the reason why I wasn't as happy, as cheerful as I am right now, typically when I sub 5 minute mile, like I'll go scream and say yay, like I did something Mission Impossible. But no, I am not too excited, personally, because I probably have more limit than as I think. And also plus because of this uncircumstances, right, that's going on around the world. So because we suffered this pandemic, and you know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not gonna say what type of disease are we suffering right now, because I do not want this video get removed because I say something that's like inappropriate. I am not allowed to even mention it. So yeah, if I mention it, then I'll get in trouble with YouTube, and I do not want this video to get taken down, right? Just because I said something stupid, right? I mean, come on, man. I'm making a special video of me, just accomplish something that I thought I will never conquer, and thought that I will never accomplish. And it's the biggest accomplish that like that is like very hard to touch, right? Very hard. And I'll go over the detail, like how did the sub 5 minute mile happen, and why was it not recorded? That's another thing about why people may think like, oh, this video is fake and all stuff. But I literally need somebody who rides a bike, who runs as fast as me. Like you probably have to follow me on a bike, like recording me running and all stuff. But I do not have a camera recorder, obviously, because it costs me money and all stuff, and I don't want to pay. I mean, I just record like straight my Garmin watch, and I just run, until it hit to like 1 mile, and that's about it. So yeah, so first of all, I'll explain, how did I get, a 5 minute mile, right? And how much frustration that I went into, right? And how long, took me. After if I explain all of that, what happened today, then I will go and detail, like how, my mile time, evolution has evolved, right? So the first thing I did is that how to improve your mile time is that I built my aerobic endurance. So that doesn't mean you run 1 mile. It means you have to do like multiple exercises. You run like 2 miles, 5K, 5 miles, 10 miles. But I don't think you don't even have to run 15 miles, just to run, a 5 minute mile pace, or not even 20. You don't have to run like marathon or even half a marathon, maybe 10 miles at most, right? But that's all I was saying. So I built my aerobic endurance. I get my muscle, get used to that speed, and yeah, it felt like a sprint. Some people say that it's like a fast walk, or running like hard. And honestly, like subbing a 5 minute mile has been like, it's a huge, this mile is like it's a king. It felt like it is a monster. It felt like a beast. Like there's just like this, this line, where can people never get through or just never get past the line. It's that people, get to the line, but it's just like resist and just keep going back and back, and it's just like so resisting. It's like so hard. Like I just can't explain all in my word right now, right? Like it's just like a barrier, like where this like it never comes down, right? I mean, honestly, subbing a 5-minute mount is definitely hard with me, especially I have disability. Because the reason why I say this is because people with disability like autism, or psychoepilepsy, all that type of disability. I mean, with disability, I mean conquering your goals in life will be a little bit more challenging, or much more harder than comparing to your regular people. Because for you to like put that much effort into simple tasks, like people have to carry that extra weight. Okay, they have to carry the extra weight, just do like something like very easy tasks, right? But subbing a 5-minute mount is no joke for just an average person, especially people with disability, right? I mean, running is not my disability, right? It's my hobby. I just have autism, just mental disability technically, right? I mean, yeah, if my mental's not there, then I'm obviously not gonna sub a 5-minute mile. There's just no way, right? So let me think. I'm just thinking right now, man, because I want to say very good things about the video. I do not want this video to get disliked. This is a very special video that I make for myself, not just for you guys. This is for my personal video. This is not for you to view. I mean, you can hit a like button if you want to. If you hit a dislike button, then you obviously disagree, or you're just probably being a hater on my channel, right? So how did I sub a 5-minute mile, right? I mean, yeah, it requires lots of hard work, and good days and bad days happen, right? I mean, not every day you're gonna get faster. I mean, yeah, if you get faster every day, then you're gonna be an Olympic, in matters of like years or so, and like days. Like everybody's gonna be Olympic, right? I mean, based on your common sense, you just cannot get, you just don't become a Superman. Nobody is a superhuman, on Earth. I mean, there are some superhuman on Earth, but what are the odds, right? It's like very like little chance, right? I am just, a regular human, but just with autism. So that means I'm a little below average, right? A little below. And I sub a 5-minute mile. A person with autism just sub a 5-minute mile. What does that say to you? I mean, there's just a lot of message, that I'm probably not seeing, but this is a very, accomplishment, and it's very hard to conquer, It's very hard. I mean, yeah, you obviously need a lot of support. You need to do some more work. You need to run a lot, like I do, and you need to eat the right diets and stuff. Yeah, everything has to be, going well, going perfect, and just being smart, and just holding that pace for just a certain amount of time, man. That was all it, man. That was it. Every single year I just get faster and faster, as I just keep running like almost every single day, right? Yeah, sometimes I get injured, sometimes I struggle, but I just keep finding a way, how to get faster, Like, I keep finding a way. Like, I'll just it's just like me, like being trapped in the room, in the big box in the room, like trying to find a way out, like just working my way out, like taking step by step by step by step, and eventually, like I just find like my way out, and I just break it open, break that accomplishment, right? Yeah, that's how it works, right? I thought this will never happen, right? I knew that in 2019 I'm not gonna sub a 5-minute mile, right? Which I'm correct, but then next year comes, and then I'm just like, hey, no excuse, man. I'm gonna go all the way past that, go under that 5-minute, under the 5-minute mark, and I actually did, right? So you want to know, like, what's my mile time? You're just gonna comment, right? But listen to the whole video, okay? It's 10 minutes in the video and I got 4:58.4 as a mile time, right? Okay, so I have like 1.5 seconds, you know, just to spare, right? Yes, that is correct, man. So yeah, I do occasionally, you know, make video about me running and all stuff, but some videos in the past, you know, just got some likes and stuff, but it's from last year. But now, you know, I'm much faster than, you know, last year. And this year is just driving me nuts, man. Like, oh my god, everything just go nuts. Like, I just go crazy, man, and just like wrecking up and like pushing my limit, and it just never stops, man. Like, this is like how unstoppable I am. You can even have a disability, you know, or things that can prevent you. Like, you just became like invincible. It's like almost feels like that way, right? And that's how strong I am, and I get smarter too. So that's how I knew, like, being strongly physical, strongly mental. You have all these necessity things. Like, you will conquer like a lot more than you think, right? Than you actually have. Like, you don't even know your limit. Like, it just keep expanding, the limit just keep growing and growing and growing, and it's just like unbelievable. I'm like, this is unbelievable, man. Like, if you look at through my view, like, you will feel very good. Like, you'll feel like very strong and stuff, right? I mean, this is like, you know, a few minutes of me, you know, talk about like my opinion of like subbing a 5-minute mile, right? You want to know like where you do it, when did you do it, what time exactly? I mean, I'm recording like almost 8 p.m. right now, but almost 8 hours ago, like, I subbed a 5-minute mile. Yes, I ran in Fremont, you know, near Lake Elizabeth, but not in Lake Elizabeth, but toward like the back, you know, where there's like this, you know, big trails, you know, where, you know, biker stuff. It's like a big trail, you know, look like a street, you know, back there, you know, between, you know, Lake Elizabeth and the train. I'm about to show you just in a minute. And I'll be explaining you 2 reasons, you know, like why I ran back there and why I cannot record the whole thing. Because when I leave my GoPro there, obviously people can steal it, and also yeah, because and plus it only record, you know, limited series of that run, right? The GoPro has to record the whole thing, has to follow along, and so technically it's not like a 4-lap thing. I only run like 2 laps. And you say that's half a mile. Like, no, man, you don't get what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I run straight for half a mile, then I make a quick turn and just run back again, and constantly look at my watch, you know, every 1.1 mile, you know, I go, right? Because it's very easy, you know, to keep track of your pace, you know, of 5-minute pace, right? Very easy. So for every 0.1 mile I travel, I have to be, you know, within the 30-second range. 29 is good, you know, 31's a little too slow, right? So yeah, so that means, you know, that for every, you know, 1 minute pass by, I'm supposed to cover 0.2 miles, right? And then when 2 minutes, it'll get to like 0.4, then 3 minutes go to 0.6, 2.5, we call it the 230, you know, that's like a 2.5 minute or 0.5 mile, and once it gets to like 0.8, then it's a 4 minutes, and 5-minute mile, like, okay, man, it's 1 mile, finish, done. That's all I have to say, right? It's 30 per seconds, you know, for 0.1 mile, or for every 0.01 mile, you know, it's 3 seconds exactly, right? The 300-second mile, right? I mean, whoever passed that now is like in the 200s, right? I mean, even the world record, you know, in a mile, it cannot go under 200 seconds. No way. I mean, you can look that up, you know, and calculate for yourself. I don't have to really explain this in video, but people pass 5-minute mile. I just noticed that you're not running a 300-second mile anymore. That's all I'm saying. So technically, you know, technically I break up in fourths, right? When people say you run a mile, you always break a 4th segment, right? So here's your 1st mile, 2nd mile, 3rd mile, 4th mile, which 1st mile and 4th mile are usually your strongest mile, right? I mean, the people, you know, who like keep constant pace, like, they don't have any strong mile, but when they know they're almost finished, then they're gonna start sprinting, right? You know that when you sprint, you know, your fast twitch muscle only works for about like a minute or so. I mean, if you train it really well, then your fast twitch muscle can last long, like your slow twitch muscles, right? I say 1 minute in my opinion, right? What does that mean? So that means if you run, you know, have fast twitch muscle, you know, that works for 1 minute, I mean, you can sprint to 400 meters, you know, and run under, you know, 60 seconds, which is a 3:59 pace. Like, that's just insane. That'll be way too fast for a mile, and I don't think I can do it. But I'm so happy that I'm getting at least a 4:59 in my mile, right? I mean, 4:58, you know, to be exact, right? So my first, so before I show you where I run, you know, so I'll go over the split real quick. So my first split, you know, in a mile, you know, my first quarter mile was at 1:15.5 or 1:16, right? I mean, I didn't start off very strong, right? I mean, I was conserving energy for, you know, for the next 3 laps, right? I mean, first one strong because, you know, you're feeling energetic, you have all the energy with you. And for people, you know, cause the first lap is usually like a warm up, right? But I'm running straight, right? I'm running straight, you know, 50 miles and like this, and run back, you know, where I started off, right? Yeah, cause it's a trail. I forgot like a second reason, like why, you know, first reason why I run straight is because you know, because all you do is run straight. And when you maneuver a lot, yeah, it does kind of slow you down a lot. And second of all, you know, all the track is closed is because of due to, you know, certain disease, you know, epidemic, like I said, because this disease has been causing a lot of problems. I mean, I know that it's a little off topic, but it just closed down everything, and you just have to understand, right? This worst pandemic ever, right? I mean, just things are going crazy and lots of things closed, and social distance, you know, obviously you have to be 6 feet away from people, right? So yeah, I've been keeping my social distance though, that way, you know, I don't get the flu, right? So let's just go back to the first lap, 0.25 miles, right? Halfway into my turning point, right? Where I turn around. It's just not a big loop, but I just make like run the trail, halfway up trail, halfway back the trail, right? 0.25 miles, you know, at about 1:16, right? Then, you know, I just run a little harder, like, yeah, it should feel like a warm-up. Your first lap should feel like warm, and then your second lap is, you know, get a little more intensity from 0.25 miles to like half a mile, you know. It's a halfway point, you know, like where, you know, you shouldn't feel tired at all. Like, you should feel a little bit tired, right? Just a little bit, but not extremely tired, because if you feel extremely tired, then you're gonna have a problem. And you're not gonna run, you know, the pace that you wanted, or your PR that, or you're not gonna beat your PR technically, right? So I ran that at like about 1:15.5, and then for the second lap, you know, I run like a little under 1:15 just to make up, you know, the second, you know, the differential, you know, between, you know, 5-minute pace and my, you know, current pace right now. Because if I run like a 1:15, 1:16, I mean, I'm running like between a 5:02 to 5:04, you know, average pace in a mile, right? And then, you know, once I hit the 0.5 mile, I clock in exactly at 2:30. This is where I needed to be, right? This is, yeah, I mean, for you to sub a 5-minute mile, like, you have to hit 2:30, you know, twice in your run, like non-stop, right? So I got 2:30, you know, at 800 meters, or half a mile, right? And then, you know, I turn back, and then once I hit to like 0.6 miles or 0.61 miles, like I was like 3:03 or something like that at 0.4. Well, I was like 3 minutes 06. I was feeling a little tired. I feel like a little bit slowed down there, right? I mean, yeah, the third lap is very critical because you already ran 2 laps and you still need some energy, you know, for the fourth lap. That's why the third lap is very critical for runner, even, you know, elite runners as well too, right? Yeah, the third lap is always, you know, drag people down. Like, it feels like, oh, like you're not at the finish line, like you just barely finished, you know, the halfway point, and this is where a lot of people slow down, right? But I kept my pace, you know, I kept looking at my watch, and I tell myself not to slow down. I keep going and going and going and going a little harder, wrecking on my speed. Like, this is why you should go, this is why your first and or or second lap should be easy. That way, the third one doesn't look like too hard on you, right? And then at 0.74 miles, like, I'm like, oh god, like I'm not gonna sub 5 minute mile. Like this is scaring me. Like it was already 3:45, then when I look at my Garmin watch again, then it was about to hit 3:46, and suddenly went to like 0.75. Like, oh, I'm almost done. Like I already hit my third lap. So it was probably, so I probably ran like 3/4 miles or 0.75 miles in 3:45, right? So this is how people keep track pace, and this is how they sub 5 minute mile. So the first 3 laps has to be an average 1:15 each lap, because the later you run, as the more second you're behind the 5 minute pace, the harder it's come back. Because if you're like at 3:50, if you run 3 laps over 3:50, then you don't have a really good chance to sub 5 minute mile, not unless you sprint it like super hard in the 4th lap, which is unlikely gonna happen, right? I mean, you're probably gonna feel tired and you don't have a good chance, right? Because if you get like a 3:50 or slower, then that means you have to run 1:10 or faster. That's like a 4:40 pace on the last lap, and it's just not gonna look very good, and you're not gonna get nowhere near 4:59. To be honest with you, you end up getting like 5:05 or 5:10 or whatever that is, right? So yeah, so this is why like 2 of my run has not hit 5 minute mile yet, right? In the past, because I know that my fastest mile time used to be like 5.5 minutes or 5:01, is because because I always got 2:33.5 lap, right? And I was 3 seconds behind my goal pace, right? And it's so hard to come back. Like I know that I can only make up 2 seconds for half a mile, and that was about it. Like I cannot overcome a 3-second deficit. But today when I went a half mile, like it was a 0 or half a second deficit, right? Or a quarter, or 0.1 second deficits, which is absolutely nothing, right? I knew I'll eventually come back and overcome that pace, right? So I was half second behind the clock at 0.75 mile. Then once like I enter the 3/4 of a way of a mile, and I just went like sprinting, like no thinking, no looking. I only looked at my watch once, not twice, a third time, but I just kept running like this, like just like, come on, you're almost there, come on, like stimulating, and and the energy just went up, skyrocketing, like fast, and my heart was beating like so hard, right? I just kept pushing the gas pedal and just never let go, never. And this is how I sub a 5 minute mile, right? So I looked my watch again, and I already passed the 1,500 meters. Obviously for you to sub a 5 minute mile, your 1,500 meter has to be 4:40 pace, right? Yeah, I looked at my watch, say 0.94 miles at 4:40. So that's like I have 100 meter left. That means I'm gonna need at least another 18-19 seconds, which is right on track, of getting that goals, getting to my promised land. And then once I see 0.0 mile, then I see like 4:56, and I kept going, and then I don't see a 1 mile. Then suddenly I just stopped my watch right away. I got panic, and my time ended up being 4:58, right? Just click my watch just right on time, right? I didn't want to click at 0.09 mile because it looks bad to me. It's like, oh, like you didn't finish, you should like went a few more feet, and it's just gonna look bad at me, and I'm gonna feel like frustrated, right? So yeah, that time like I was tired, and I barely could walk. I can barely like look around, I barely can talk too, right? I was just like panting, I was like breathing, and I was looking very exhausted, even though it's just 1 mile, right? Like I was about to cry and stuff, and I was about to be so cheerful and stuff, but when I'm just looking, like how bad 2020 is, how bad the year is, I was like, no, let's not celebrate, I was like, no, man, this year has been so disgusting, but I'm glad I get past 5 minutes now, because if I don't, then I'll be so angry, and I'll be feeling, disappointed and ashamed, right? That's all I have to say for this video, right? I mean, I wish a person can record me running, so that way, you know, that way you can see, you know, my true speed, my true span. You can truly see me like running, you know, truly, right? But sorry, you know, I don't have the evidence. No one's recording me and stuff, so I get my Garmin watch and I upload on, you know, website, on my, you know, my Garmin website, and I'll show you, you know, what actual look like. So, and also because of nice wear and stuff. So here's another thing, like how, you know, I met, you know, my PR, you know, or my best day of running. So I ate like a really good breakfast stuff, so I read on internet like what kind of diet, you know, these, you know, eat light runner or good runner eat. They eat like lots of, you know, carbohydrate like breads and stuff, like eggs, and I heard that chocolate milk runs. I mean ever since, you know, I've been starting drinking, you know, like some chocolate or dark chocolate milk, then yeah, it does help me run a little bit faster than, you know, my usual thinking pace, right? Than my usual speed. I mean, this is how I got 37 minutes, you know, for a 10K run, you know, because I'm using the dark chocolate, and it helped me, you know, sustain my pace a little bit longer than it needs to be, right? Without that dark chocolate, right? And I slept very well, you know. Everything matters, and everything went like 100%, and everything went like perfect, and I know I do feel like a little bit heavy, but yeah, I probably need those energy just, you know, push, you know, my muscle, you know, my body, you know, forward. Never look back. Always keep an eye on my pace, and I'm pretty sure like the hill was flat too, right? I mean the elevation, you know, was the same as, you know, as my ending, you know, where I stopped, right? My start point, my end point, same elevation, right? It wasn't no downhill, it was no uphill, nothing like that. All flat, all 100% flat, right? Or 99.99999%, you know, flat, right? So I mean, like the elevation is probably like maybe 6 to like maybe 2 feet at most, right? Don't see much of the elevation difference, and I think like was 56, you know, like above, you know, like sea level, 56 feet. That's what I'm saying, right? So here is where I ran in. Here's my mile time, right here. 1 mile, 458.4. And average pace is 459, right? So there's no way that you can argue that, oh, like you cheated, you ran 5-minute mile. No, man. 459 is faster than the 5-minute mile. It's faster than that. How can you say no to that? Max elevation. So the elevation was only 4 feet difference, and this is how you can tell. This is one obvious way of, you know, to tell that if a person's not lying about their mile time and stuff, and how they, you know, run that pace. I wasn't on a bike, I wasn't on anything. Nope, no cheating, no steroid, no use, nothing like that. No bike, no driving a car, no roller skating, none of that happened. All on my legs. And how did I do after run? My leg was very sore. I mean, especially, you know, my upper thigh, it hurts, man. It hurts. It felt sore. Like I barely can like run. I can barely jog. This is how hard I try. So burning total 135 calories. The weather 59 degree, and today, you know. So now you know where I ran, right? So this is Fremont, you know. So it's like right here, right? Excuse me. So I ran here, you know. See, there's a train track right here, and this is what I tell you. This is like, yeah, I do see people walking by, and they didn't say hi to me or anything, but yeah. So here's where I ran. So I ran here. I ran all the way up to here, you know. Yeah, so I went to this electric building, and once I run here, so once I hit here, then I just turn back, you know, and run here again. Run on this, like this little trail thing, and just kept going, and this is where 3/4 of a mile is, like somewhere around here, and there you go. And my top speed was obviously not 211, but I think I think my top speed for for this mile run was probably like a 4:11 pace, so that's like about a little over 14 miles per hour. I mean, yeah. So I started with the 5:18 pace because 5:09 pace was my slowest pace for a mile, and then I just keep racking up and see then after 1 minute, the rest of the way was just at 4:50 pace above yeah, here's like 4:55 pace, but then when it gets here, then it's above 4:50 pace. Because like I said, I try and explain that I try and make up for the second that I just gain in that certain this nice that I start slow in the beginning and then get 40-41 half mile because of my turn, and then I just run at 4:50 and then yeah, to get a little slower here, then I start spraying up and shot back to like 4:50 pace right here, 4:50, and just went and just hold 4:50 all the way up there. And speed is the average speed is 0.5 miles per hour. And yeah, so I'm pretty sure, like, comment below like if you've been to like this place in Fremont, right? Just comment below like if you've been to this trail, and you obviously know what it looks like, and you obviously know like where I ran, right? So yeah, like this is a very special video, right? So what does it, so now let me put in my full definition in my own word about subbing a 5-minute mile. So what do you mean when you sub a 5-minute mile? That means you run a mile in less than 300 seconds. Simple as that, less than 5 minutes, put it this way. I mean, if you sub a 5-minute mile, so that means that you can run 12 miles per hour for at least 5 minutes, right? Or you can hold that pace for 5 minutes technically, right? So that means that for every 100 meters, or you can call it the 1600 meter run. So for you to sub a 5-minute mile, that means that you have to run 100 meters in 18.75 seconds, right? For just 100 meters, and for the 200 meter, 37.5 seconds, right? And for 400 meter, 75 seconds per quarter mile for 400 meter. And this is the tough part, man. Subbing 5-minute mile will also mean that you have sub a 2:30 minute for half a mile, or for 800 meters back to back, like no stopping and no elapsed time stop in between, right? So if your mile time is the same as your elapsed time, or if your elapsed time mean like the time you start running and time you end running, and assuming that no breaks take it in between. So if your time happened to be the same as your elapsed time, that means that yeah, you're not lying about your time stuff. But in the past, like the reason why I fake my mile time and all stuff is because my elapsed time is never the same as my time. And if your elapsed time is greater than your time, then you obviously cheated. You obviously took a run, took a little break, in the middle of your run. You just stop your watch, take a breath, and you just go off a sprint and just get a good time, which is very unethical, right? This is very ethical, and for people who've been very ethical, especially when it comes to running, then there is no reason to dislike. You cannot hit a dislike on this video if this person is being ethical, right? Yeah, so yep, or a 5-minute mile mean like that's equivalent of running a 306 or 307 per kilometer, right? Except you're running 1.6 kilometer at a little under 307 pace for kilometers. So just a little over 3 minutes for the kilometer thing, right? Just a little over, or almost 20 kilometers per hour. So let me explain like my timeline of my my mile time before I went to the sub 5-minute mile. So my first mile time was like almost 10 years ago, right? Yeah, it was recorded in Horner Junior High around September or October. I mean, my first mile I ever ran, was I was in 7th grade. It was 2010, October, and I run PE. So my first mile time was like really slow compared to like my best mile time as of right now, which is 10 years. 10 years has been a drastic change, right? So my first mile time, that I ever ran was pretty bad, like an average runner. Like I get around 804, 805. My first mile time was like over 8 minutes, right? But then as I keep running and running like crazy, like almost every day, then all of a sudden my mile time in 2011 was a 640, right? I got like a 645 or 646. And then, somehow, I don't run that much, so I just bumped back to like 717, and then 2012, like walked in and I almost stopped a 6 minute mile, right? And in December of 2012, like I ran 4.2 miles, in 30 minutes, or average pace 708, for like over 4 miles. Top of my mile, and my first mile time, my first sub 6 minute mile was recorded in 2013, but it could have been 2012. First time I subbed a 6 minute mile was in February 6th, 2013. That's when I was a freshman in high school, right? I mean, yeah. And then, my best, freshman boom time, in Irvington on 1.25 miles was like 7:23, right? That was my best one ever, so. And my best mile time in 2013 was like around 5:40, 5:48, 5:47, but never got past 5:45, right? Then my sophomore boom come in, my best sophomore boom was recorded as a 9:09, or a 1.5 mile, right? I mean, from this point on, after when 2013 ended, I got a little bit slower because I gained weight, and I was feeling, like very low confidence, and then I get slower, and then my worst, my running mile time was like 6:45, but still not, much faster than an 8 minute mile, my first mile. And then one time in 2014, I got like my worst 1.5 mile recorded was like over 10 minutes. I'm like, this was a joke, man. Like, I wanted the sub 5 minute mile like ever since 2013, and I look at the ready to go, like I look at today and I say what a joke I was, like how slow I was, like this was really pathetic and a joke, right? Like my running in 2014, my worst running in 2014, comparing to like now as of 2020 April, like my running has like almost improved like 10 times. I'm like, this is crazy, man. This is very crazy. I'm like, I thought this would never happen, but it just happened. I'm like, unbelievable. That's like a 6:40 pace for half mile. Like, it felt like slow, or running a 7 minute pace for like only a couple miles, and that's it. And that's not gonna help me get sub 6 minute mile. I'm not gonna even sub a 6 minute mile. Left low, I can't even do 5, and that's why I think like it's never gonna happen. This is why I told myself, like, Vince, you're not gonna sub 5 minute now. You're never ever gonna sub 5 minute now, right? Because of my garbage performance in 2014, right? I mean, my 2014, 2015, like my worst performance when it comes to mile. This is my worst year ever, right? But then, as it gets smarter, I start like dieting, lose weight, and I start practicing. Like 2016 get a little bit better, right? I mean, I probably get like a 550, mile, just get things back on track. I weighed 180 pounds, and I just run, just right under 13, minute, for like 2 miles. I get like 6:23 pace, for, or ran like 12:46, in 2016, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, my 2015, my fastest mile time was like 5:40, right? I mean, people question me like, yeah, my 5:40 was my real mile time in 2015, and 2017, like I get a little bit better, and I can run a 6 minute pace for like at least, at most, 2 miles, and my mile time was like 5:35 or 5:34. 5:32 was like my fastest mile time in 2017, just a little over 5:30, and then in 2018 I get like a 5:19 mile, 5:20 miles, and then in 2019, you know, my best mile time in 2019 was a 5:05, and 2020 as of April, and it's 4:58.4. So this is my evolution of my mile time. So from 2010 to 2012, I shave off 2 minutes, right? And then it takes me the next 7 long years, you know, just to shave off 1 minute, man. I'm like, this is like so hard, right? I could probably run a 6-minute pace for like at least 6 miles, 10K, or possibly can even drag it to 7 miles. This is how hard something a 5-minute mile is. Like, it's like 5 times harder than running a sub 6-minute mile. Like, if you just sub a 7-minute mile, don't go for sub 6. If you sub a 6-minute, if you just sub a 6-minute mile, don't go for sub 5. If you just sub for 5-minute mile, same thing, you cannot go sub 4. No, it does not happen, you know, in less than 0 overnight. Not unless you take dopes and stuff, but I'd recommend you don't take dopes. So yeah, in 2017, you know, I ran a 6:30 pace, or, you know, ran 6:30 pace, you know, for 4 miles, or, you know, or run, you know, 4 miles, you know, in 26 minutes as of 2017. And then, you know, my first 10-mile run in 2015 was, you know, in 89 minutes, which is an 8:50, you know, pace, you know, for 10 miles. And then for 20 miles, I run like 9:57 minutes per mile, you know, for 20 miles in 2015. Because 2015 is where, you know, I rack up, you know, for long distance running, right? I mean, for the past, you know, like few years, you know, 2014 under, like, I just never run 10 miles, and I only run like hills and all that stuff, so my pace is inaccurate and all that stuff. And then, you know, in 18 is where I started running like multi-mile miles, and I did break like a big milestone in 2018. I'd run under a 7-minute pace, you know, for at least, you know, 10 miles. I ran faster than 7 minutes per mile, you know, starting in 2018 September, you know. I ran like a 6:56 pace, you know, for 10 miles. Then 2019, you know, like I'm running like a 6:40 pace, you know, for 10 miles. And for 20 miles, I just beat, you know, the 150 minutes, you know, barrier, you know, for 20 miles, running at a 7:29 pace per minutes per mile, you know, for 20 miles, you know, in 2019. In 2018, I ran like insanely fast, run faster than 7:20 pace for at least 15 miles. I just never got to a marathon distance and run 7:40 pace, you know, for 20 miles. And then when 2020 comes, and first thing started in January, I ran like a 7:20, 7:19 pace for at least 20 miles, and all that sorts of stuff, right? I mean, why do I keep mentioning my record, you know, in the past that doesn't have to do with sub 5 minute mile? I just want to show you like how strong my aerobic endurance have been. I have my aerobic endurance has been like so strong that this is what caused me to, you know, to go and pass, you know, the 5-minute mile, right? So I'm getting a little tired here, and sorry, this was a long talk, but I should have live streamed it and all stuff, but I just want to record from this, you know, GoPro stuff, and I have a lots of opinion, you know, of me, you know, subbing 5-minute mile, right? Because there's just a lots of things to talk about, you know, about this, and I feel like, yeah, I have increased my, you know, running endurance, you know, compared to last year, like by more than double. I have sub, you know, on 19 minutes, you know, 5K, you know, back to back, whereas last year I didn't even do it, you know. And in 2019 was my first time, you know, I run in the race, you know, in Pleasanton, you know. This is almost a 1-year anniversary. This, yeah, I forgot to mention the video. This is almost a 1-year anniversary, you know, of me, you know, having a first day race, you know, my first day of race, right, where I run with people and stuff, right? I mean, I did not get the time I wanted it, you know, like, I knew I would get 19, but I did not know that I almost sub a 19 minutes for 5K, like, that's just like looking scary, right? But now I run like 37 minutes, you know, for 10K. That means you have sub, you know, 19-minute 5K, you know, 2 times in a row. Man, just a lot to talk about, right? in my 5K, my current 5K run is like 17 something, 17 minutes something. So I'll give you more update. I'm gonna run some more random distances, just to show you that a sub 5-minute mile, run fast, for certain distance. Oh my god, my time's gonna be insane, to be honest with you. So a 45 minutes talking to me about subbing a 5-minute miles, and if my channel blow up because of this long video, my long opinion on this, then boy, like, I'm sorry this video is long, but I just have a lot of thoughts and things about this, right? Like, this is a very huge accomplishment. So yeah, end this video up here, and peace out.